compound interest. Owing that person just the 6% at the end of the year. Every month, they put the 6% on, and the next month, they do that 6% times the first 6%, until at the end of the year, you might owe twice that money. That's how compound interest works. It's interest, that's added on, then interest on the interest on the debt with the interest on it. So our real debt is 5% of 700 billion, okay? Here. So that number, that would be the original debt, about 350 billion, going up to 700, because it's compounding. All this interest is never straight interest, it's always compound. If you have money and you lend it to somebody, yeah, you're not going to say, I'm taking this for nothing, but you're only going to charge straight interest. So 10% of 7,000, at the end of the year you owe them 7,700. That's it. But if it's compounding interest, you're going to owe them 14,000 at the end of the year, and that's what they're doing to us. The debt. We have a huge debt we can't afford. That's why the city looks like it does, please. All our money is going to pay interest to those, okay? We're not borrowing from our own bank now for years and years. That's how we got our health care. If we don't get out of this and go back to our own bank, we're not going to have any health care coverage. They're deleting things as I speak. Oh, we can't afford because the money's going in interest. And then they made everybody think that, well, if you have a war, that gets rid of the depression. We all make money. That's a big lie. No, we don't. They do. We don't. We just die. So wars are big business. Wars are never about morals. A war is immoral anyway.
Hear, hear.
It's got no ethics. So war is a big, huge business. Here, first of all, we'll just go to there's 4 big businesses. The first one would be the money. That's based on the Bible. Then there's big pharma. That's the other big one. And weapons. Anybody that makes money in war, okay? The banks. That's all that makes money. So the weapons, what do we get? We get death. We get limbs blown off. Nobody helps us. So the army's truly the slaves. They're the real slaves. Your kids go to war. They don't give a damn. They don't get anything. They don't get fixed. And Kissinger said, soldiers are just meant to be disposed of. They're nothing. They're just meant to be used for said. So war is the biggest business, I would say, and it sets up the others. The banks and the Bible go together, and then out of that comes war, so that people will die off. That's more depopulation. And then big pharma, that's about mind control, which we will be doing in one of these classes. Big pharma, that's in on there too, because you can control. Although I look around now and I think, are there any minds out there that I would like to control? Like, what's going on, with the actual minds? So everyone's distracted now, they don't know too much. So all this is going on, and every day you're going to hear some stupid reason why, and you're going to hear more about terrorism, because that's good, it keeps everybody scared. And then you're going to hear about more Ebola, and and I have no idea how long I've been yammering on here. Oh, and here's a good one. The U.S. keeps the job of rebuilding Iraq for itself. Canadians were complaining, We have no contracts. Where's our contracts in Iraq? Look, the U.S. is keeping all the contracts for itself. Do you see what I say here? Bechtel Group, Inc., which built the Hoover Dam and Quebec's James Bay hydroelectric plant. And we're over in Kuwait doing work there, and a reconstruction contract in Iraq. Over the next month, 8 contracts worth 1.9 billion US in all will be awarded to the same people. Oh look, even countries that supported war likely to be left out. I just don't see anyone from Canada winning any business. Well, excuse me, who cares, okay? But that's what they're complaining about. They're not getting the business of rebuilding. Oh, here it is, by Churchill, okay. Now, I was talking about the money. Just listen to Churchill for a minute. Germany's unforgivable crime before the Second World War, Churchill said, and they've got their reference books here, was her attempt to extricate her economic power from the world's trading system and to create her own exchange mechanism, which would deny world finance its opportunity to profit. He was printing his own money, okay? And it says here, denying finance its opportunity to profit. So that's exactly what he did. So, and then he said, again, Churchill, you must understand that this war is not against Hitler or National Socialism, but against the strength of the German people, which is to be smashed once and for all, regardless whether it is in the hands of Hitler or a Jesuit priest. These books are quoted here. That is Churchill talking, okay? So it's business, 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 okay? And what happened in Germany, and I'll just say this as the last thing, they said, the German government said, we don't like your banking practices, meaning Rothschild. We don't like your banking practices, you'll have to leave Germany. So Hitler got the ships and boarded the ships, and he said, okay, go off to America. We don't like your banking, what you do with the banks, you'll have to go over there. Now what happened? When they got to America, Canada and the US, guess what happened? We would have let them in. But, now listen to this, the Zionist Congress, and my mother-in-law, when I asked her, she's Jewish, I said to her, what's the Zionism? This was years ago, my kids were little. I said, what's the Zionism you're mumbling about? She said, they're the worst thing that ever happened to us. That was my mother-in-law. So they knew all that history. So he sent them over. He said, we're telling them to go. We can't take the interest and all this crap anymore. They have to leave. They got over there, the head of the Zionist Congress in the US and here in Canada said to both governments, don't let them in. Their own people. Don't let them in. We want them for Palestine. They had to go back. So yes, there was a Holocaust, and there have been, here let's go to this now. They sold out their own people, okay? Because they wanted Palestine and they wanted money. I mean, they were one of the Holocaust. We'll get to it next week. So that's what's still going on. And even if they have to sacrifice, even their own people again, they will. They will, believe me. So that is what's going on. Now, is it after 8? Because I can only have this room till 8:15.
Yeah.
What?
8:15.
Oh my God, okay. I'm going to read the war prayer, and then I'll see. Oh, by the way, next week, here before I do this, we're going to be in the Earth Sciences building right off Spadina. Easy to find. Earth Sciences, just go on the net and you'll have a map of the university. Earth Sciences building, room,
No, is it St. George?
no, it's
St. George?
no, it's Oxfordina.
Okay.
It's Oxfordina. Okay,
Alright.
just look at the map on the net, and it's room B, meaning basement, 142. That's where we'll be next week, and I'll have more schedules. And now, I'm going to read what Mark Twain called the war prayer. You're going to like this. O Lord, our Father, our young patriots, idols of our hearts, go forth to battle. Be thou near them, with them in spirit. We also go forth from the sweet peace of our beloved firesides to smite the foe. O Lord, our God, help us to tear their soldiers to bloody shreds with our shells. Help us to cover their smiling fields with the pale forms of their patriot dead. Help us to drown the thunder of the guns with the shrieks of their wounded, writhing in pain. Help us to lay waste their humble homes with a hurricane of fire. Help us to wring the hearts of their unoffending widows with unavailing grief. Help us to turn them out roofless with little children, to wander unfriended the wastes of their desolated land in rags and hunger and thirst. Worn with travail, imploring thee for the refuge of the grave, and denied it. For our sakes who adore thee, Lord, blast their hopes, blight their lives, protract their bitter pilgrimage,